And we're back.
And we're back. Hi, everyone. We are here and we are going to be talking about husbands this episode.
We each have one.
We each have one that started this one. So we decided, let's talk about them. Good, bad, the ugly.
So right now, mine's saying, oh, crap.
Mine's saying, what is she going to bring up?
They're going to bash and trash.
Exactly. And that's not the intention of this at all, because honestly, we both love our husbands to death.
Betty.
You want to go by mommy now? She loved me this one.
She does.
She wanted to come to me. Woo!
She was on your mic, so we're just going to move her.
Got it.
That's all.
Good call.
Yeah.
So no, we're not even coming at this episode as let's bash and trash our husbands, because we love our husbands, aka that's why they made it to be our husbands.
And this long.
Yeah, exactly. If they weren't good husbands, they wouldn't still be our husbands. Hello, everyone.
So next month I will be married 29 years?
That's
No,
amazing.
28.
That's
20,
huge.
Yeah, 28 years. So we've been together almost 25. So
Huge.
yeah. No, wait. Am I doing the math wrong?
I love when this comes up all the time.
I'm doing the math wrong. So we married 28, together almost 30.
Don't you love how this comes up all the time? When this question comes up, by the way, my husband looks at me and he purposely waits for me to answer. And I look at him and I'm like, why do you do this to me? Like, you know I don't love math. You know math is never my fun subject. I don't like doing any of this. And he literally looks and he puts his hand on his hip like this, like, go ahead, Jasmine. Answer the question. How long have we been married? How many years together? And I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, let's see. We met in 2012. And I start doing the math like that. And I'm like, I was like, we were married in 2015. Okay, so we start there. So yeah, so long story short, we're married we're going to be 8 years married, and we are now almost 10 years at this point together.
So you guys are babies.
We're babies according to there. But at this point in time, we feel like we've been together forever. So
Oh, yeah.
it's great. I love it though. I mean, I couldn't be happier. He's fantastic, and he is my right hand. And honestly, at the end of the days, I don't really want to be with anyone else other than him. So he's my friend, he's my partner, he's my confidant, he's everything all wrapped into one. So
It's a good package, right?
it's a great package. Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I feel. And like, I make my husband laugh.
Yeah.
I make him laugh every day. And it's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, so much, but you married me. And you're still here with me, so it's all good.
Exactly. It's like, it's the friend, it's the lover, it's the father, it's the confidant, it's like
It's
it's
a
a
sounding
lot
board.
of different things. It's a sounding board. Yeah.
That's one thing, though, that like men are not that good at sounding boards until you point it out, because they want to solve. They want to make it better for you, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be on a conversation with him, and I'm like, this happened, and this is what's going on. And he's like, well, then just do this. No, I don't want you to tell me how to solve it, because I know how to solve it, and by the way, that's not going to work. Just listen. So he's gotten much better at just listening.
They short circuit it. That's the problem. Like, everything to them is just an easy fix. And not
It's
everything is
not.
always easy.
Right.
Like, some of the things I feel like in our life are very complex. And then when you talk to the guys sometimes, they say that we over complex things. And I don't feel like we do. I just feel like sometimes the things in our lives are very complex to begin with.
Right. And we have those problem-solving skills, so we have to use them.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not as easy as saying, well, doctor, when I do this, it hurts. Well, then don't do that.
Yes.
It's not always that easy. You
Yes.
know, it's like, I'm doing this because something's bothering me, right? So let's go through and figure it out.
Yeah.
Where they're going to say, well, just don't do it.
Yes. Exactly.
You know, husbands.
Typical
not doctors.
response.
Right.
Typical response. Like, oh, does this hurt? Yeah, it hurts when I do this. Well, then don't
do
do
it.
that. Whereas we're like, how long has it been like that?
Is
Were
there a
any-
spot?
Yeah. Are there spots? Any pre-existing symptoms? Did you notice when you did this, something else was triggered? Like, we really get to the root of the problem. Hence why we are complementary to each other.
Exactly.
And we don't say we're the better breed, but we are. But
We
we
know
are.
we are. And right now, my son's shaking his head saying, you all think that.
And right now, every man that's
Is
watching
shaking
this
his head.
episode is saying, here we go again, a bunch of women
these
talking
two.
about.
Do you two think they're God's gift? No, we don't.
We don't.
We really don't.
We just know we are. No.
We know that too, but we know we have flaws, right?
Every woman
Like,
has
I'll
flaws.
say to my
Every
husband-
person has flaws.
Well, you did this, that makes me crazy, and you do this, that makes me crazy, and you make me nuts this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll go, you don't think you do that too? I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
well, maybe
we
I
do.
do. All right, fair.
We do.
You know, I can make you crazy too.
100% fair. But guess what? You still love us, and you still need us, and you still very much at the end of the day
Want to be with us.
Want us, and that's the important piece. It's the want. It's not the need. It's not the attraction piece. It's not the can't live without you. It's the want. And I think that's when relationships really come into it, and you go to like the therapist and everything else, and you guys have those really like heavy discussions. At the end of the day, do you want it?
Right.
Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in a relationship, right? Anything from a marriage standpoint. If the world is falling apart around you, is that want still there? Not the needs, not because you can do anything. I mean, push comes to shove, when, I'm going to say, excuse me, but when shit hits the fan, any person, doesn't matter, man, female, age, circumstance, life situation, whatever the case is, any person that has the want, the drive, the will, you can do anything when you're really pushed to it at the end of the day. But when you want to be in a relationship and you want that other person and there's nothing else there stopping you, you do it. You just do it. So that's a marriage. Complimentary or not. I mean, you guys choose to be there. It's a choice every day.
But you do have to make each other laugh.
That's a big thing.
You have to make each other
Well,
laugh.
laughter heals.
Yeah, right. You have to listen actively, right? You don't have to be the problem solver, but you do have to be the listener. And then sometimes you do have to be the problem solver, but sometimes you just have to say, all right, this is what's going on, and how do we make it work together as a team?
Recipe
You
for a
have
perfect
to
marriage.
be a team, no matter what.
The recipe for a perfect marriage, because there's no one marriage that's the same. Every
No.
marriage is different.
Yes, I agree.
Every relationship is different. That's why when people are like, oh, I like what they're doing, or I like what they're doing, but every relationship is completely different and separate. You never know.
No, like my dynamic is different than yours.
Very much so.
But then also, like, my life is different than yours.
Mhm.
You've got little kids. Mine are all grown. So our dynamic shifts as we age, right?
Yeah.
And the relationship changes, you know, because when your kids are little, everything is all about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the kids are older, it's like, okay, you don't have that
Can't be all
buffer,
about the
right?
kids.
So it's like, well, it's about us now. And, you know, it's fun because we go camping on our own now in the RV. Because I don't camp, right? I glamp. Actually,
Glam.
he won't camp. I will. But no need to do that at this age.
Yeah.
Like,
My
I got it.
back. My back.
My back. My back hurts in the RV. I can't imagine being on the ground again. Did that when the boys were little
Or
and
the
in
blow-up
Scouts.
mattress. Oh, that reminds me of like the couches when you open up the couch and you take out that bed and it sounds like a good idea, but then you actually sleep on that one night and you're just like, oh my God, what was I
Did you ever see the
thinking?
Seinfeld episode
Which one?
where
There's
Jerry
so
and
many.
Elaine go see Jerry's parents in Florida?
And they go
And they have the-
sleep on that.
And Elaine sleeps on the thing, and there's the bar against the back, right?
Sounds
And
good.
Mrs. Seinfeld doesn't turn the heat on, or the air on, right? So this is like going to see my mother-in-law.
No, I didn't
It's
see
hysterical.
that one.
It's just, like Russ and I
Oh,
laugh
now
at.
I have
So we
to.
showed it to my mother-in-law this summer, and she was cracking up.
loved it?
She's like, "Is it like that?" I'm like, we're like, "Yeah, absolutely." But she bought us a new mattress
Okay.
for the pull-out bed, so it's much more comfortable. Now we just have to work on the air conditioning
Oh my God.
because 76 in Florida just doesn't cut it.
it's too hot.
But
It's
it
uncomfortable.
but it was a fun episode.
But it's like you think you can. It sounds good at the time, but then you do it and you just like realize how old you really are, or you feel that way. And you're
Easy,
just like,
yeah.
You're like, when did this happen? It's like when I sneeze the wrong way and all of a sudden something goes out in my upper neck or my back and I'm just like, oh, what just happened? Like this did not go right.
I sat in the back seat 2 weeks ago to take Sebastian to the airport. Get to the airport, I stand up and I'm like, oh, that's not going to help.
Right?
Right? And then
happen?
didn't I? I was like, the next day, I'm like, I'm not coming in. I'm taking muscle relaxers. I'm taking this, that, and the other thing to get
It's
rid of the pain.
awful.
Yeah.
It's
So,
rude.
so we went camping this weekend. because I love going, right? And it's our time together. Russ and I were together. We take little Miss Betty here and we just go. Well, of course, I broke myself. Betty and I are out for a walk.
How did you break yourself?
I'm walking her. All is good. I'm sightseeing. There was a block party up ahead. We were going there. And all of a sudden, I felt myself going down. I rolled my ankle again. I don't know why. But you know how, like, when you start to go down and you're pulling yourself and you're trying really hard. And I didn't want to fall on her because I didn't want to break her.
Yeah.
Because, I mean.
You know, of course.
She's too tiny, right?
Yeah.
And I just, like, I went down and I hit.
Oh, no.
And this lady's like, are you okay? Let me help you up. And I'm like, and you don't want to show that you're like.
You don't want to show that you're that hurt.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm fine. She's like, let me help you up. I'm like, okay. You know, and then I.
You're like, where's my husband? There's another need. Like, where's my husband? I
know,
him
and
right
I'm like,
now.
but if I call him, I can't even tell him where I am to, like, come walk me back. Right? I wasn't hurt that bad. Like, I hit my elbow, I hit my hand, it all swelled up and bruised. Hit my leg, and of course now it's infected because that's just the way it is.
Oh, no.
But I gotta say, I got up and I'm like, didn't break a hip. This is good.
Oh, my God.
But I am like such a klutz.
But isn't it hysterical? Because if you were with your husband at that moment, he would have automatically known everything that you felt.
Yeah.
Just from experience.
Oh.
Stranger, though, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
sucking it in, like, okay, I'm good. I'm walking away. I'm like this. But if it was your husband, you could just, like, let it all out.
He said, all right, I know you're not good. Let's walk you back.
Exactly.
And then for the rest of the day, he's like, okay, I think you need to give it a rest. No more walking. I'm like, but I didn't get to 10,000 steps yet. He's like, you need to give it a rest.
You're done.
So then
You're done. No more 10,000 steps.
He was on the phone. So I take Miss Betty into him. I'm like, here, watch Betty for a while. And I skirted out and I went for a walk. And he calls me up and he's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the scene of the crime. I'm taking a second lap. He's like, why?
Exactly.
And why didn't you tell me? It's because if I told you, you wouldn't have wanted me to go. He's like, no, you need to get.
Forget your 10,000 steps right now.
I'm like, no, but I need the exercise. I'm trying to lose weight.
Oh my gosh.
But I didn't hurt myself the second time, although I did smack my head once.
Again, we are the tougher breed, sex, whatever gender. But at the same time, I don't know if we're necessarily the smartest sometimes. So,
No.
Yeah, because we do this to ourselves. Like, why do we do these things to ourselves?
It's true.
Yeah.
Like I said, I loved camp, but I hurt myself every single time. The one time I told you, I smacked my head so hard I got a concussion.
I remember
Just
when
standing
you said
up, the awning.
Yeah.
So Russ doesn't like to put the awning down. So
I don't blame him now.
the awning wasn't even down, and I smacked my head coming out of. I was leaning into the compartment to get something, stood up at the wrong time, and he's like, "Teach you." I'm like, "Yep."
Isn't it amazing?
Hit my head again.
It just knows. They just know.
I think because he knows me so well.
Oh my God. But speaking of like knowing everyone so well, do you ever notice when you're in the house with your significant other, there's these habits they have? Habits. And you just know that it's like that. So you try to like preemptively stop them from these certain things that they have. Like we talked about this in the past. And I know we've talked about this in the past because I've complained about this in the past. The toothpaste.
How did I know that was
the
coming
toothpaste.
up?
Or the cup. Like there's this cup, there's this miscellaneous cup that's always left around. And I know about the cup because I'm constantly cleaning up the cup. But the cup is now lingering and my kids are now incorporating the same habit of like this cup. God forbid.
Just leave it.
God forbid there were cups that were used at the time where you actually need the cup, right? No. There's this like mysterious cup that lingers and it just, one minute it's on the kitchen table. The next minute it's like upstairs on a dresser. The next minute it's in the couch. Like somehow, like when I say in the couch, like I'm talking about I go to sit down and relax on the couch and then all of a sudden I put my hand in a spot where your hand should go on a couch. But poof, right there where it goes, there's like a cup there where your hand would go. And I'm like, what is this? And they're always empty.
And dirty.
Dirty. God forbid, though. But should I need a drink? This is my cup. Like, what is this? I don't understand. And it all started with my husband. Because it's like marking. Like, you know when you take a dog to go, like, out to the bathroom and, like, every 5 seconds they're lifting up to go to, like, mark their spot on a tree? That's, like, the cup. The cup is there everywhere. It's like this, like my family marking themselves in the house. It's like I marked myself here. I marked myself there. Like this is a mark. No, I don't need your markings everywhere. But pick up after yourself. Your markings are good. You have a room. You've marked yourself. Like that's all I need.
And we're going to leave it at that. Because they're going to mark themselves at your house and you're going to go home and clean.
I can't. I don't want to. Stop marking.
Well,
it's your house.
Get some lunch on your way home so you can deal with them. On that note, we are going to see you next time.
We'll talk more about markings next time. And families.
And husbands and families
husbands.
and kids and sleeping puppies.
On that note, mark
Cheers.
yourself somewhere, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I marked my glass.
Mark it. There you go. I didn't mark mine yet, but mark this. Cheers, everyone. BrokenandOutspoken.com. Bye.
Bye.